Well, hey everybody, John Rethlin here, and this is Hashtag Ask for Honesty, episode 16. Before I start that, I want to do a little PSA, especially for those of you that interact with me on Twitter, because that's the easiest way to reach me. I'm not knocking the YouTube audience. Thank you guys for interacting with me. Everybody, I really appreciate all the interactions across all forms of social media, especially in regards to the channel, but just in general. If you guys are dealing with depression, anxiety, feelings of loneliness, whatever, and you need somebody to talk to, I'm not a perfect human being. No one is. I deal with my own depression and anxiety. I have a dark sense of humor, or I have ways that I deal with it, but I will listen to any problems that you guys have going. If you feel the need to share them with me, you can share as much as you want to, as little as you want to, whatever you want to. If you're dealing with some bad feelings and you feel like no one will listen, I will listen, as long as I'm not sleeping, because it's kind of hard for me to sleep message. And also, as long as I'm not working. As long as I am free, I will make as much time as I need and as you need to listen to you guys. So I just wanted to say that right there. So do understand, I'm available. I can't say I can fix your problems, but I want to listen. You guys have helped me through a whole lot of stuff, more than you guys will ever know. Because outside of the few friends or whatever, the channel is a big outlet for my depression and anxiety. You guys have helped a lot with that. I want to try and give back. So please never hesitate to contact me if you feel you need somebody to listen. But you guys also came to have your questions answered. So drop your up to 3 questions in the comments below, and I will answer them in the next video. Find me on Twitter, hit me up in DM, send the 3 questions that way, or Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, 2 chances to send in questions. Use the hashtag Ask for Honesty, wrestling, music, or movie-related questions. And basically, that's about it. Now, if I missed any of your guys' questions, please do not hesitate to send me a screenshot or send in DM, and I will make sure to answer them, and I will even offer an apology. So, got some good questions. Bit shorter than normal, so I might not go on as long as normal videos. So this might not even be 30 minutes. Watch it go 35. But anyway, Farron's53 asking, who should take the WWE title from Kofi? Regardless of who you think will, if you were booking it, who would it be and why? Aleister Black, because then you take it from one black guy to another black guy. I had to make the joke. I kind of had to break the ice after that. In all seriousness, Aleister would not actually be a bad choice. Now, if Kofi was, if the WWE title was on Raw and the Universal title was on SmackDown, I would almost say Bray Wyatt, because I think Bray Wyatt's going to be going to the Raw brand. I would say throw Bray Wyatt in there and give him a chance. If he sinks, then he sinks with this gimmick. Otherwise, he should swim, with this gimmick. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Vince wants to pull the plug on it, but who the fuck knows? But my choice would be Aleister Black. Now, you could build up a program and you have Aleister take it from him at SummerSlam, but with how little they've been using him, who the fuck knows what the fuck they're doing? I mean, I don't know if he's going to be a babyface or a heel. He sounds like he's a little more heelish here. If we had to go with somebody that I think really deserves it, that's been featured at least in some matches here and there, Andrade. Andrade would be a great choice to take the title off of Kofi. So those would be my 2 guys. Ali would be another one, but then you'd have babyface. I think Ali should win from a heel, so I don't necessarily think that would work. So I would say Andrade or Aleister Black. My choice would be Aleister Black. But, because, I mean, maybe after all this stuff with the promos and everything, you book him like a badass, and he just comes out and hits the black mass on a black guy, and good God, it's a wonder that people, that people, cringe a little bit when I make my jokes. But again, it's how I deal with a lot of things. In all seriousness, a black mass to Kofi as he's trying to do like some kind of Trouble in Paradise or something like that, or maybe hit that jumping crossbody off the top, and Aleister just hits him with a black mass. That'd be kind of cool. Or Andrade, but again, Andrade might actually be a good choice too. Like really either of those guys, because I can't think of anybody that could benefit from a rocket push that could be a heel right away. Now, am I saying there aren't worthy ones on SmackDown? Not at all. But those would be the 2 guys, because it would be most beneficial, and at least it wouldn't be Shane McMahon. By the way, as far as who I think will, Shane's probably going to take it from Kofi. Hell, by the time you guys see this, Shane may put himself in a match at Stomping Grounds, which of course is where WWE talents fist ass and take names. I may have said that wrong. But maybe after that cage match, Shane decides to insert himself in the feud. Gross. But he inserts himself in the title picture. And then he takes it from Kofi. And yeah, watch that happen. Watch that happen and then watch me hate myself for it. But again, to answer your question, Alistair or Andrade. I think those would be the perfect ways and perfect ways to rocket both guys while making it believable. Because both guys really can go in the ring, and so can Kofi. I'm not saying I want Kofi's title reign to end anytime soon, but if he loses it, it should also be at SummerSlam. So Andrade or Alistair. And then we go BSG 10309, or 103079. Let me try that again. Brandon asking, if you were given full creative control of a horror movie, what would your killer look and act like? It would be a disembodied tit that smothered people with his big old nipple. Bet you didn't expect that one, did you? In all seriousness, it would be a variation of Leatherface as far as like how it looks, but I would say more of like, the 2000s version of Leatherface, like a bit more hulking. Because Michael Myers, that kind of stuff, like that's pretty iconic and everything. I would just go with somebody that's basically a savage, just beats people, which is essentially what Leatherface was. Or maybe go a little bit Hills Have Eyes, stuff like that. Maybe not so much freaks, but just have people that are like cannibals or savages or whatever. That's something that I would do. But what would act like? It would just act like a freaking killer. It just act like, that's exactly what I would do. Now, I'm not going to say somebody suggested, and I think it might have actually been you, suggest put myself as a killer. Now, I have dark thoughts, but I don't think I could pull off a very convincing killer. I really don't think I could. Like, honestly. Though, it'd be kind of cool to play one in a movie. I wouldn't have the acting chops for it at all. So then his second question, top 5 horror movies of the last decade. That's difficult. And I love horror. Not that anybody that's watched this channel for a while wouldn't be able to tell that. I'm going to be watching 2 horror movies here in the next couple weeks. Actually, within the next like 10 days, I'm going to be watching Annabelle Comes Home Tuesday night after SmackDown. And I'm going to watch Midsommar from the director of Hereditary after SmackDown that day. So if I had to go with 2, or if I had to go with 5 movies, in no particular order, but Us and Suspiria would be up there, Hereditary would be up there, A Quiet Place. As good as A Quiet Place was, I don't know if A Quiet Place would be up there, but, yeah, because let's see, It would be like probably top 5. I'm just trying to think with my collection. Annabelle Creation. I'll throw Annabelle Creation in there. There are plenty of movies that I'm sure I'm missing, but yeah, and Get Out would be just below that, which I know sounds kind of fun, or kind of funny, but let's see. No. Conjuring 2, Electric Boogaloo. So Us, Suspiria, Hereditary. Yeah, The Conjuring 2. Stuff like that. So those movies basically I mentioned. Yeah, because I really can't think of anything else otherwise like that would factor in. One horror movie I did see that wouldn't be top 5 but was pretty goddamn good was The Perfection. It's on Netflix. Encourage you guys to check that out. That one was actually pretty good. But rotating amount, but for sure the top 3 would be Us, Suspiria, and Hereditary. I really, really love those. And then, probably Conjuring 2, and maybe throw in Annabelle Creation. It's always forever changing, but It Chapter 2 actually would replace Annabelle Creation, so there we go. There's your top 5 right there. As messy as that fucking was. And then we get to AJA T800. I'm going to combine your questions, because you asked about, 2 superheroes. But how about Batman, Superman costumes rank from worst to best? This can range from live action movies, TV, and animated. I'm not going to rank every single one, but I like the Man of Steel one that Henry Cavill had. I liked, of course, Christopher Reeve's version. That one was pretty cool, pretty goddamn iconic, simple but iconic. And the original, or not the Max Fleischer animated, series, but the 90s edition of Superman. I thought that was pretty cool. So those would be like my 3 right there. Worst, can't really think of worst. I really can't. People that are bigger fans of them probably could think of that. And Batman, I would throw, obviously, you could throw Adam West in there, but it's like, that was kind of like a little silly. But then again, it was meant to be silly. Batman Beyond is something I think that should get thrown in there. Batman the animated series from the 90s. And the Christian Bale version of Batman. Why not? Those would be that. It's like, as far as worst, the bat nipples, as far as like George Clooney's version, we really didn't need to see that. That was pretty goddamn shit. But yeah, I'm sorry if I, kind of answered the question a little bit quickly. I just didn't really have a mind on like worst ones besides the Batman one. But I hope I answered your question pretty well. At Jeremy8911, what current unused talents in WWE would you like to see featured more or get some type of push? Are we just talking, if we're talking main roster, I mentioned Andrade, I mentioned Aleister. Chad Gable for sure. I mean, he's being featured on 205 Live. No offense, 205 Live's fucking purgatory. Nothing against 205 Live. I fucking want that show to succeed. But it can't, because they won't put it in Full Sail and make it part of the NXT tapings. Make NXT 90 minutes and have 205 Live matches, like one in there, here and there. Have one at the 30-minute mark and then have one, I don't know, have one like 15 minutes in and then have one like 45 minutes in. And then you got 30 minutes for your goddamn main event. But it gets them in front of a hot crowd and everything, and that would be something good. Apollo Crews is somebody I think that deserves a push. Now, he probably needs a manager, but I like Apollo Crews. I think Apollo Crews is quite good. EC3 is somebody where he's not great between the ropes, but for fuck's sake, he's got a good mouth on him. No, not that way. I run a clean show. I don't run a clean show, but stop thinking about that. Otherwise, it would be the top schlong percent, and I'm really not helping the amount of the amount of hate that I get for the jokes. But EC3B1, I mean, fuck, there's just so many goddamn people. Asuka and Kairi, they aren't being fucking used. And here's an idea, even though they're tag team champions, use the Iconics better. Peyton and Billy, one, they ain't the goddamn, just give me a little bit of a soapbox thing right here. Not that you asked this. But other people have been saying, oh, the Iconics are the new Bellas. Peyton and Billy on their worst day could have a better match or a more watchable match than the Bellas could on their best day. The Iconics, while I admit, yes, as far as in-ring ability, Peyton is ahead of Billy. I don't think Billy is nearly as bad as some people say. And I don't mean people that interact with me, or at least follow me. Mainly people that I see, say in the comments, oh, Billy isn't all that good in the ring. I'm not saying she's a world beater, but I don't think she's that bad. Peyton, clearly being trained by Lance Storm, is quite goddamn good. And hopefully they get a chance to show that more. But there's so many goddamn women. Natalya could be used a little bit better because she's actually pretty goddamn good in the ring. She's been relegated nothing. Naomi, who I'm not the biggest fan of, could be used a little bit better. Tag teams. Fucking what? I mean, the Revival are now the tag team champions. I mean, what the fuck? They don't mean anything. Elias could be used better. Drew could stop being Shane's fucking lackey. Good fucking God. It just, good grief. Drew deserves so much better than he's getting. Finn Balor ain't even on the goddamn card for Stomping Grounds, which of course is where WWE talents kick ass and take names. Fucking hate that tagline, and WWE deserves to be mocked for it. Not because they're trying to sound edgy, but because they're beating us over the head with it. But, God, let's see. Andrade, Aleister, Ali. Ali is somebody I would like to see used. Ember Moon, Liv Morgan. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. It's longer than Jericho's list of 1,004 holds. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, study up on your Monday Night War shit. I'm kidding. It's actually from 1998 where Dean Malenko was the man of 1,000 holds and Jericho was feuding with him. And so he says, I'm the man of 1,004 holds. And it was hilarious. But anyway, that would be some people. I did Aleister and Andrade, as I said before. Ali deserves a push. You can't push everybody all the time, but fuck, Apollo Crews, EC3, some of the women, Ember, Liv, Asuka, Kairi, use the Iconics better. Just so many people. Honestly, they deserve to be used a whole lot better. So, because if you keep focusing, I got nothing against Lacey, I got nothing against Becky. Charlotte hasn't been on TV as much. But if you focus on using Alexa, who isn't all that good in the ring, she's got great character work. I give her that. If you don't focus on a rotating cast of using the women better, many are just going to forget, oh fuck, these people exist. And that's not good. You need to go with people that could be the dark horse picks or whatever, which could lead us back to Ember, but I'm not going to make that joke again because I said that during the Money in the Bank predictions. Except I did make it again. I love Ember. Please use Ember better. She should be champion at some point. She should take the title from Bayley. Have Ember do it. Actually, Sonya first, and then have Ember take it from her later. But there we go. That's the whole point. Those kinds of people. So now we get to the legendary JF. Really cool stuff that he does for his own podcast. So be sure to check that out. He's got a link in his profile on. I would butcher the name, even though it's simple. I would butcher the name. So just check out at the legendary JF and check out his, profile info, for that. So anyway, 3 questions. If you could Thanos snap 5 former superstars and 5 current ones in, 5 former superstars in, and then 5 current ones out of the company, WWE, that is, who would they be? Vince, and this is, I mean, I know you said superstars, but like, Corbin I don't really find all that interesting. I would get rid of him, but here's the people I get rid of. I get rid of Vince, I get rid of Dunn, I get rid of John Laurinaitis. I would get rid of a few people like that, but if I had to go with wrestlers, Undertaker, bye. Orton, bye. I know I can't do the Thanos snap, but just get rid of Orton. Sorry, I just don't find Orton all that interesting. The Ascension, bye. They don't mean anything, so I'm going to include them as one. Oh boy, who the fuck else would I snap? Who would I snap away? I would snap Drew McIntyre. No, I was going to say I'd snap Drew McIntyre away and send him somewhere else, but no. I would I'd snap Jinder back, to like maybe AEW or something like that. I think he could be used better there. I'd snap Cedric to New Japan, and I'd snap Ali to New Japan or AEW because I think they got better stuff there. But Corbin for sure. And then the Ascension of people that I just mentioned right there. As far as the women, I can't really think of any. Well, Nia, I'd actually snap Nia and Tamina away. So let's throw a couple names off of there. Let's throw Ali and Cedric off of there, and let's put Nia and Tamina there. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. They don't belong there. As far as 5 former superstars I bring back in, I'd bring Morrison back in, but then you'd have to bring Taya Valkyrie in. And I got nothing against both of them. They were both awesome. It was great to meet them last year at my first ever indie show, Defy Northwest, in I believe July. They were super awesome. Taya, really, really good. Really good in the ring. But I would say Morrison, even, Johnny Impact, all that stuff and everything. I'd just like to see him have one more run. Even though it'd be a short run, I'd like to see Victoria back in there, as I think she deserves to go out on a big, big stage, even though she seems to enjoy what she's doing right now. Throw Candice in there. I mean, why not? You've kept bringing back fucking Bellas. You can bring back Candice, who at least was, at her worst competent in the ring, but actually got better in the ring as things went along and became champion and worked her ass off and everything. So those would be 3. God, former other ones. I'm trying to think. I really can't think of anybody else I'd like to see snap back into it. Not like snap into a Slim Jim, because it's like, let's see. No, I don't. Not. I mean, if Punk was happy with it, I would snap him back in there. But no, I can only think of those 3. I can't really think of all that many because most of them are dead, passed on, or way past their prime. I can't think of anybody else that I'd want to snap back in there. WWE's already too loaded as it is. So, but I mean, it's like as far as the former ones or as far as the current ones, I can snap out is about a list of 10 people. Anyway, second question. Who was your favorite wrestler when you started watching, and who is today? Favorite wrestler when I started watching Hogan was a Hulkamaniac. I watched War Cells score, and Hogan was pretty much the first wrestler I latched onto. I was 4 years old. I didn't know he was a racist piece of shit at the time. Did a lot for wrestling. Some good, some bad. I mean, but then again, what top guy wouldn't? So as far as today, who's my favorite current wrestler? God. Okada. I would have to think about it, Okada. And I would say Okada and Naito, because I think they're really good. But then you go Kota Ibushi. I mean, there's plenty in WWE. AJ Styles is great. Seth Rollins is great. I would throw Sonya in there, even though I think Sonya deserves more time to shine. I would say Sonya, Becky are probably 2 of my favorite women's superstars or talents that are there. I would have to say though, I would have to say Okada, Naito, Ibushi, and then we get down to the WWE stars like that. So those would be the 3. Okada for sure, if you actually had to tell me, because I never get bored watching Okada wrestle. Even though I didn't like the match that he did with Jericho, because it was absolute ass, at Dominion, and it wasn't very good. Jericho was fucking gassed like crazy, but still, I'll say Okada. It's a long list because then you got to go between companies and everything. So there we go. Third question: if you could have one job in the wrestling industry, what would it be? Commentator or manager is what it would be. I really can't think I really can't think of myself ever being an athlete, but manager I could do well, especially without any restrictions. I would be a manager with creative control, or a commentator with pretty much creative control. I mean, with some limitations and everything, I would have to plug all the stuff, but I would say I get to put over matches my way, and it would draw the fans in. So that's the kind of stuff I would do. You know, I'm sorry that's not glamorous, but that's the way I'm answering it. So thank you for your questions, by the way, so far, guys. Abby VX, great talking to Abby. She's absolutely awesome. Always enjoy talking to her. Very unique Twitter, and I mean that in the most positive way possible. I can always count on some fun randomness from her. And really, really smart, really, really funny girl. Anyway, opinion on the Ready to Rumble movie. Absolute dog shit, but entertaining dog shit. It fit with the timeline of WCW at the time. I don't know how with the company spiraling out of control like that they managed to get that movie made. And it was more successful than I thought it would be. I'm not saying it was wildly successful, but David Arquette was really into it. He helped plug the movie like crazy, and he did bring a lot of mainstream publicity to WCW. He didn't want to be champion, but he still worked hard at it and donated his money that he got, especially from the pay-per-view appearances, to the families of various wrestlers. I believe like Draws, Pillman's wife, Owen Hart's family. There were a few others, or a couple others, I don't remember what. But David Arquette's that kind of a good guy. The movie was absolute shit, but considering it's a wrestling, themed movie, I mean, it's not the worst one. The worst one's No Holds Barred. Or the worst one's, as far as mainstream, is No Holds Barred. The movie was shit, but I still found it entertaining. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Oliver Platt, he was fine in it, but it's like it was silly, it was dumb. It was meant to be a comedy. It was like 5% hits, 95% misses, but it still worked because it was cheesy. It was very much of its time. Reviewer John 809, who would you take out of this year's G1 climax? I answered this in my predictions for the G1, or at least I thought I did. I'm sorry, John. I'm not knocking you, but just so if anybody hears this again, I'm sorry for chewing my food twice, so to speak, but I would have taken out Bad Luck Fale and put Toa Henare in. I would have taken somebody else out of B Block. I don't know who, but I would have put Minoru Suzuki in. But I would have at the very least put Henare in instead of Fale, because I'm sorry, Fale cannot carry singles matches anymore. Henare would be a young gun. He would have a chance to get super over. So that's what I would do. I would take out Fale. Now, I'd love to see Suzuki in there, but at the same time, maybe with his age, and maybe, it was an agreement between both of them, who the fuck knows. I mean, maybe you could have taken Taichi out, but Taichi is pretty over, kind of, and he's younger. Maybe they want to give him a chance. So, for sure, though, take out Bad Luck Fale, put Toa Henare in. And the final two questions from Bobby on Facebook. And these are great, by the way, so actually this stuff might turn into a bit of a mini rant, at least. But why is it okay for people to get excited when Matt's kid wins the 24/7 title, but people get mad at Bailey's big fan, Izzy, who has wrestled and won a title? That's a very good question. By the way, the 24/7 title I still think is complete dog shit, even though some people like it, and that's fine. If any of you guys are watching and you like the 24/7 title, great. It's fucking great. I don't know why the fuck this is the case. Now, I wasn't a fan of Izzy doing that stuff anyway, and I'm still not, because she's a kid. And I know that people start young in wrestling and whatever, but I'm still not comfortable seeing her take those bumps. But it's her life. I think her parents are exploiting her, but whatever. I can't hammer her and not hammer the fact that Matt Hardy's kid is, had the 24/7 title and everything, and then Truth won the title from Drake Maverick, and it was just it was stupid. It's fucking goddamn stupid. At his wedding, hate it. Fucking hate the 24/7 title. I hate it so goddamn much. To answer your question, I don't know what the fuck the deal is. I don't know why it's different levels of like acceptance in WWE and otherwise. I remember seeing some of the spots that Izzy took. Like I think it was like this one choke slam or something, choke slam, spine buster, or something like that. I was not comfortable with it, and I wasn't comfortable with it because it's a kid wrestling. It doesn't matter about gender; it's a kid wrestling. I just wasn't comfortable with it. But then you got Matt Hardy's kid, and look, his oldest kid, by the way. He seemed in on the joke and everything, but he's still a kid. I'm not saying he's taking any bumps and this kind of stuff and whatever. And I know that him and Drake Maverick back when, he was Rockstar Spud, had like something on Impact and it was ridiculous. I know it was done for comedy, but I didn't find it funny. It just makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense as to why one is different than the other. I personally don't like either of them. So I really don't know what the reason is. It's all stupid to me. Yeah, but I totally get why you're asking that. And then here we go with the final question from Bobby. If you could go see the actual Annabelle doll in that museum, would you? The Warrens Museum, where they have all the artifacts from the hauntings that may or may not have happened. The actual Annabelle doll is apparently a Raggedy Ann doll, which is far more fucking terrifying than that thing. And that thing is fucking terrifying. I can point just fine at the camera, but that thing is fucking terrifying. The Raggedy Ann doll is more terrifying. 100% more terrifying. And if any of the stories are true, you don't want to mess with the goddamn case with a goddamn demonic doll in it. You really don't want to do that. Would I go? I think it's in Connecticut. I think. Connecticut or New Hampshire. One of the two. Maybe it's Rhode Island. Actually, it might be Rhode Island. Sorry, my geography gets a little screwed up over there. But I would go. I would go. I would tell my friends, you might want to take video of this if they'll allow, in case I pass out from the fact that I'll be around all this spoopy stuff and everything. But yeah, I'd go. I'd have to go with friends. But I would for sure go. Anyway, hey, let's all make a road trip or whatever and go to the Warren's Museum. Maybe not, because that might actually be a little weird and it'd be hard to coordinate that. But yeah, I'd go. And I am very excited to see Annabelle Comes Home. I'm actually going to be reviewing that in a few days. But anyway, that's the end of the questions. So thank you guys so much for the great questions. And make sure, once again, YouTube comments, you can comment below here and you can leave questions for the next episode. 3 questions limited. 3-question limit. That way I can answer more stuff. Or Twitter, hit the DM. Or make sure that you find one of the pinned tweets that I put up Tuesday morning or Thursday morning. But anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.